Oh, she was the. Might have to be on our better
Except
behavior.
I understand our last meeting either had all audio and no video.
This is the highlight, probably. I'd like to call tonight's Conservation Commission meeting to order. This meeting is a public meeting, and it is being recorded, as well as most likely televised as well. And so when any members of the public have any comments or questions or anything like that nature, if you could come up to the podium here and just introduce yourself with your name and address for the record, we'd appreciate that. The first item just to touch upon is the good news is the conservation agent did start. Today was his first day in the office, but per the Director of Community Affairs and Development, he's actually starting on a limited basis for the first month, 2 or 3 days a week. And unfortunately, he can't be here tonight with us, so we'll have to delay our official welcome aboard until our next meeting. But he did start today, and I'm scheduled to have a conversation with him on Thursday, so.
Hey, Chris, for those who are watching and also from the audience, this gentleman has 20-odd years of conservation agent experience from other towns. So he's going to come to Chelmsford with a lot of experience. He's not going to have to learn the job on the job, which is great.
Yeah, good point, Dave. Good point. So anyway, we'll meet him in person probably at our next meeting. Open session, citizen concerns. So this is the part of the meeting, if we have anything that the citizens have concerns on, could be even one of the members of the commission, that's something that's not on tonight's agenda that they'd like to bring up to us now, just let us know. And, raise your hand, and we'll take those questions. And if you don't have anything and you're here to cover something that might be on the agenda, that's okay, too. Is there anything not on the agenda that somebody wants to address at the beginning of the meeting tonight? Okay, all right, nothing, good. So then we move along to our regulatory hearings for this evening. And the first item we have is, we have 44 Davis Road, two parts of it, actually. We have a request for a certificate of compliance, that's a new filing, as well as 44 Davis Road, notice of intent, new filing. Do we have a legal notice that we can read into the record, Mr. Clerk?
Yes, Mr. Chair, under the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public meeting at the town offices, 50 Billerica Road, Chelmsford, on Tuesday, November 16th, 2021, at 7 p.m. for a notice of intent filed by Shamin Patel. The applicant wishes to construct a new single-family dwelling with associated site improvements at 44 Davis Road. Work will take place within 100 feet of a wetland.
Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate it. And so what we do next is, in these public hearings, we have the applicant come up to the podium, do a presentation to the commission. We'll then have an opportunity for the commissioners to take a turn to ask questions, make comments, and then we'll turn to the public as well and have the public have a chance to ask questions as well. And that's kind of the format we'll follow. So if the applicant is here, sir, if you can come forward, introduce yourself.
If you want, you can announce it. I am a letter. I have no.
Chris, do we have to act on the certificate of compliance first? Is
Uh,
that a historical one?
So,
Yeah, sir.
good evening,
I'm sorry.
members. My name is Eric Bradnisi of Engineering Alliance. We filed the notice of intent for Shyam Patel, who is also here with me, the property owner. Just to touch base for you guys, the certificate of compliance, I believe the paperwork was filed. This was from in the early 2000s, I think, when the lot was originally subdivided, there was an order for the particular site, and the order has since expired. As you guys can see on this aerial image here, this is from 2019, there was no work ever completed on these properties. So that certificate of compliance was just to be filed as no work under the order was ever completed.
Was that when the prior owner wanted to build a bridge across the stream and access the house that's down there in the lower middle?
I am not entirely
I
sure.
don't know if you, well, Chris, you might remember, Billy might remember. Originally, one of the, what's the family name?
Zare.
Zares. One of the Zares wanted to build that house that's, exists now.
Oh, this one down here.
No, this one right here.
Oh, okay. This guy right behind you.
And he originally wanted access this way, over the stream. And we had him use a common driveway and go this way. That's the only activity that was done, and that, I don't know whether that was called out on the certificate of compliance or not. But from my recollection, that's the only thing that was done there.
But to Dave's point, Dave, good point. I mean, perhaps we can just take care of that partial certificate of compliance first right now as a formality. Does anybody have any questions from the commission on that? It's a request basically for a partial certificate to really remove the encumbrance on the property.
What was the date of it?
Oh, God, 2003, I believe, was the original order.
So it's been
Not-
sitting in the registry of deeds for
2003, yeah.
almost 20 years?
Yeah.
What did you say your name was? Because you said it so fast.
Sorry. My name's Eric Bradnisi. I work for Engineering
I'm gonna
Alliance.
ask him to spell it.
Brad Nisi?
I'm happy to spell for you if you'd like, just have to bear with me.
Go for it.
Oh, you want me to spell for you?
Yes, please.
Please.
B as in boy,
Yep.
R, A, D as in Dan, A, N as in Nancy, E, S, E.
I would not have gotten that. You know what CNE?
Can I ask,
That's
Yeah,
okay.
Mark?
Name of your company was
what was the
CNE?
Oh, it's
COC
it's
issue
Engineering
for?
Alliance is the company.
Well, this would be the COC now, and it's really just a partial certificate of compliance on the order of condition that's there. And basically, they just needed to clear, according to the letter from Flood Law Office, just to clear the encumbrance that's on the property.
There is an attached letter from Mr. Flood's office.
Yeah.
It says, in June 1989, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission issued an order of conditions to Joseph McPhillips. Said order is recorded. At the time the order was issued, 48 Davis Road was one lot consisting of approximately 2.82 acres. In 2003, said land was subdivided to create 3 separate lots, with the only dwelling being located on Lot 3, which is currently known as 48 Davis. That's probably the red house, I think.
Correct.
To remove the encumbrance from Lot 1, 44 Davis Road, I'm requesting a partial certificate of compliance be issued. Now, this letter is dated November 4th, 2000. So this is not a full certificate of compliance.
No, that's correct.
So that he's requesting a partial, so that there still would be an outstanding order, I suspect,
Yeah.
until your applicant completes whatever it is he's gonna do.
That's correct.
Yeah, and this is Lot 1 only. So anyway, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Any other questions, though? All right, we have a motion then for a partial?
I move we issue a partial certificate of compliance for a lot,
Lot 1.
property located at 44 Davis Road, referred to as Lot 1. Is that
Thanks,
okay
Dave.
with you?
Yes, that's
Thanks, Dave.
that works.
Seconded by Mark. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, so that's good, and I've got the paperwork. We'll just pass that down the line, and we'll sign that tonight. The certificate of compliance will be then left at our conservation offices downstairs, and just call to get a copy. Just make sure it's officially there for
Perfect. Yep, we'll do.
follow up. So, all right, so that takes care of the certificate of compliance on Lot 1. It's kind of a preliminary matter. And then if you can kind of take us through the presentation on this new notice of intent filing, that'd be great.
Absolutely. So, as previously mentioned, just as part of the certificate of compliance item, the property is located at 44 Davis Road. It's this parcel here with the yellow outline. There is an intermittent stream and a bordering vegetated wetland that are located at the rear of the site. It's probably a little hard to see on this image. It's in green and then the buffer zones are in red, so this one will be a little bit easier to see here.
Thanks, Dave.
So the dark green shaded area back here, this is the bordering vegetated wetland, and then there's an intermittent stream that runs along the rear. All these red lines you see up here are buffer zones and no disturb zone, no build zone. The only work we're doing here, all the building will be within the 100-foot buffer zone to the intermittent stream and the bordering vegetated wetland. There'll be a small bit of grading that is within the no build zone, but there'll be no building or anything in that particular area. The project proponent proposes to build a 2,600 square foot footprint building with driveway and parking garage. That's the driveways here, buildings here in this brown color. There will be some incidental site grading that goes along with the driveway and the construction of the house. There will be the addition of 2 500-gallon dry wells on either side of the building to take care of stormwater from the new building. As shown on the site on the plan here as well, we have hay bales and siltation fence that'll be placed for erosion control downhill from the proposed work. There's actually also, sorry, probably should mention this, there's about a 10-foot grade change from Davis Road down to the rear of the site here. We're regrading this to keep that a little bit less steep than it is in the current condition here as well in the front of the building. But then aside from the building driveway and stormwater components, there'll just be loam and seed around the building, as you can see in that green color, and then there'll be no work, again, within any further back than this small portion of the area that's within that 50-foot no build. Everything else will be within the 100-foot buffer zone to the bordering vegetated wetland and the intermittent stream. As far as the extent of the work goes, that's really the gist of it. If there's any questions from the board, I'm very happy to answer those. I think that may be best to handle at this point.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for the overview and the presentation. Now we'll see if the board has questions or comments. Mr. McLaughlin, we'll start with you first.
What's the closest point to the stream for that lower left-hand corner of the house?
This one here.
No, next one.
Oh, sorry, this one over
That'll be
here.
the closest point. What's the distance?
So I don't have an exact distance, but it's looking at here, there's a 50-foot buffer here, and we're
So you're about 60?
you're about 60,
okay.
65 feet from the stream.
What are you doing with the material? I take it there'll be a full foundation here?
That's correct.
What are you doing with the material? You're going to use it on site, or you're going to take it off site?
The plan would be to use it on site where needed for
For
grading,
that
yes.
10-foot grade that you're going to
That's correct,
Okay.
yes.
None of the stream is on your client's property, is that correct?
That is correct. This one small stretch here at the back here where this bordering vegetated wetland is, we had a wetland scientist out to flag. I think these first 4 flags are technically part of the stream and not the wetland. Basically this little,
Where's the farmer's pond on the Duffy's property?
so that's right here at the
That's
back,
right.
just off the back corner. It's actually, if you look.
Do
this
you
image
guys
here.
know, does that farmer's pond ever flooded down and flown off the property?
I'm not aware
I
of
don't
that.
think it has. Okay.
Yeah, it's this guy. That's this right here.
Because, I mean, it gets all the water from Garby Pond, but I don't think I've ever seen the farmer's pond flood. There are no trees on the lot.
As of right now,
Does
that's
your
correct.
client have any plans to put some trees back in the environment?
Well, let me ask you.
Trees do a lot of good, and if
Yeah.
you could, and since that has no trees on it, you might be able to plant some decent trees without screwing up the property.
Yeah, is there any?
I would ask that you seriously, that's not necessarily an item of approval in the conservation.
Sure.
But I would ask you to certainly look at it. Actually, there's nothing worse than a house that has no greenery either. Driveway is right out to Davis, is that correct?
That is correct, yes. There's a turnaround and then access to the garage on the,
Yep.
just on the side here. The garage is right here. on the side.
Will the site be landscaped right to the edge of the property, or where will the landscaping?
Yeah, it'll be landscaped right up to the edge.
No,
of
I
the
mean,
property.
on the stream side.
Oh, on the stream side?
Because there's a 20, you can't go within 25 feet.
Correct. So the intent is so right here where this hay bale line is, that would be the end of where the landscaping would be. We'd leave this area unaltered.
Are you going to put anything there to denote that that's the end? Because over time, and I hope you stay in Chelmsford a long time, but as properties get sold, people forget where the 25-foot no disturbance is, where the edge of wetlands are. And we encourage people to put some kind of natural barrier, be it rocks, be it blueberry bush, be it some kind of wild bushes, just along where you're going to stop the landscaping, so subsequent owners at least visually have a sense of where that might be.
Yeah, we can absolutely explore that. Yeah, we can absolutely explore that.
Good, good. All right, thanks, Dave, for the questions. All right, moving right along. Bill?
I'm good.
And Mark?
Are you went over it fairly quickly. Did you say you were handling the roof water or the driveway water in Caltech chambers or something like that, or?
Yeah, so 500-gallon dry well. There'll be one on
Oh,
either
well.
side of the building with direct roof drains in. So it'll realistically be downspouts around the building, and that's why there's one on either side, so that either side of the building can get routed there pretty easily.
The hay bale line, that's gotta go, it's gotta be, silt sacks,
Okay. Yep, we can absolutely do that.
yeah. And, I think that's it. Oh, I'm with, like Dave, I really encourage planting trees, things like that. We're gonna request that in all new plans that are coming forward now.
Okay.
We can't enforce it, but we're gonna request it and encourage you guys to do it.
Absolutely.
Builders.
Good. Thanks, Mark. Carl?
So just to be clear, I am in a butter. I'm not a direct abutter, I'm a couple of removed, but I don't see any issues here. Is he the owner of the property now?
He is in the process,
I'm in
right?
the process, so I'm not the owner yet.
Okay, and you plan to live there?
Yes, I.
Okay. And to echo the comments about trees, native trees. Native trees.
Yes.
Yeah. That's-
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah, anything we spec would certainly,
Okay,
yes.
thanks.
No Norway pines.
Maples.
Maples.
No Norway maples.
You're gonna have horses? Your neighbor has horses. Your neighbor used to have, well, your former neighbor used to have horses.
All right. Anything else, Carl?
No, I'm good.
Good. John?
All the questions have been answered. All the right questions.
Got it.
Like they say, blueberry bushes.
All right. Good. Good. And again, there's no waivers requested from the commission, right?
Correct.
Good. 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 All right. Any other questions or comments from the commission before we turn to the public to see if there's any public input? All right, good. Ladies and gentlemen from the public, if you have any questions, again, just, raise your hand, come forward here, identify yourself, and speak into the microphone. That'd be great, if you have questions. If not, that's okay, too. All right. We'll give it a moment. All right, so it appears that we're good with the public on this hearing, so that's good. All right, Commission, the applicant is in requesting an order of conditions, and I've heard some potential conditions that we could add as far as the changing the hay bales to the silt sacks, for example, and I understand that the applicant's amenable to adding trees to the property as part of the landscaping
That won't be a
plan.
special condition, right?
Well, we could make a note of it.
I think we should, I think we
Like
could
have it
say as a
for the
special
record.
condition, the commission requests
Yeah,
that the trees be planted, native trees be
native
planted
trees, that's
on
very
the site.
important, yes.
And the other one, Chris, was that they delineate in a manner as they're choosing, where the limit of work will stop.
Absolutely.
And again, as Ms. McLaughlin mentioned, blueberry bushes or a line of, of boulders could work, or even a fence, but we need a clear delineation of the limit of the work.
Got it.
Will a fence be okay?
Sure.
Yes. So would someone like
I
to make
move
a
that
motion?
we issue a
Yes.
standard order of conditions for 44 Davis with the following special conditions. The Conservation Commission requests that native trees be planted, a number of native trees be planted on the site, that silt sacks be used rather than hay bales, and that the applicant delineate the limit of work on the stream side of the property.
All right. Very good. Did you get, just a question, did you get any comments from DEP? at this
We did
point?
not.
Did not, okay. All right,
You know,
very
actually,
good.
I don't have the DEP file number handy, but I believe they issued the number already as well,
Yeah,
so.
okay, so a number was issued.
Glad they talked to you.
Yeah.
The green cards kind of make, or actually, it's not even cards we do these days.
So I actually, yeah, I have, it's funny, I have a few of those with me. We received 3 green cards back, but I think there were only 9
Okay,
people to it, but I have 3, and then I have the receipts if you guys need to see them for the certified mails, if you'd like those.
all right. Yeah, it's probably good to leave those for the file.
Sure, yeah, let me just take the receipt off of this here.
All right, good. All right, so we have the motion. Did I hear a second on that? We have a second on Dave's motion?
Second.
Bill on the second. Any discussion before we take a vote? No discussion. All those in favor of the motion? Say aye. Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, so.
Thank you, guys.
So we're good. We should have an order of conditions document here. Let me see if I can get one out, and we'll have the commissioners sign it. But the same thing, you'd have to pick up the documentation, call the office, and just make sure you can.
Yeah, no problem. Would that be something like end of the week, or?
Yeah, a couple days, just a couple
Yeah,
days.
do you guys want to hang on to these, or do you just need to see them? Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, if you could-
We usually put them in the
Yeah, we
file.
put it
Yeah,
in the
sure.
file.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
When you dig the foundation, keep an eye out for animal bones.
Sure.
That was a fun, I don't know what you're gonna do with them, but it was a farm, and they used to bury animals, so,
The human bones are okay, but.
no, that's a different matter.
Then I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm just looking for some paperwork here. Well, here we go. All right, Dave, why don't you start the paperwork right here?
What, 44 days?
44, yeah, 44
It is a
days.
nice lot.
Yeah, it's kind of open.
Yeah, it's open, yeah,
It's, Chet's there, Charlie's,
yeah.
he's right behind.
Vivian, you'll type up the special conditions?
morning.
In the minutes, yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay, we'll have to have a separate page.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have the office will, put the conditions on the official documentation, but we'll follow up I'll follow up with an email tomorrow to the office with the conditions. So we had, Dave, we had the silt sack, right, we had the native trees, we had the delineation, right? So
That's it,
one,
I think those are the
two,
only
three.
special
So those
conditions,
three,
right.
delineation, okay, all right. And I'll copy you when Vivian, when I send the note down
Thank
to
you.
you. All right, coming down, here's the official pen.
Thank you.
Good thing.
Why do some require us to print them, Abe, and some don't?
I'm
Bureaucracy.
sure a bureaucrat somewhere,
Yeah, well,
government bureaucrat came up with that
Jeez.
form. All right, well, the next item on tonight's agenda is 127 Parker Road. This is a notice of intent filing, new filing. We'll go to the legal advertisement first, as we did for the last hearing. So, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, under the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public meeting at the town offices, 50 Billerica Road, Chelmsford, on Tuesday, November 16th, 2021, at 7 p.m. for a notice of intent filed by Spiro Skinakis. The applicant wishes to construct a new single-family dwelling with associated site improvements at 127 Parker Road. Work will take place within 100 feet of a wetland, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you very much. And now we'll hear from the applicant, giving us a presentation and overview of the proposed work.
Good evening, thanks for having us. My name's David Beati, Greater Lowell Engineering. I produced the plan, I did the survey for the property. It's been sort of a work in progress. We've pulled it back a little bit from April of 2020. Mr. Skinsakis is proposing an LAA apartment over a garage as an addition for his mom to live with him. The footprint of the garage falls between the 150-foot wetland setback. The closest corner is about 72 feet from the edge of wetland. That shed that you see on the plan was scheduled to be removed and has been removed actually as of...
No, it's not. It should be.
It will be removed this week, excuse me.
Whereabouts in the plan is the shed? Oh, there, okay.
Existing
I see
shed
it.
in the rear.
Right, where it says Caltech, above where it says Caltech Chamber?
Yes.
Okay.
And if it's possible, I've made some revisions to the plan that was originally submitted, adding a Caltech chamber in the rear, as well as a stone drip edge along the edge of the driveway pavement. I'm wondering if we could hand out a copy, 11 by
please.
17, of this
Yeah, please do.
plan with these revisions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
So as you'll be able to see on the plan, we do have a line of silt sock that we proposed. That will be the limit of disturbance.
Silt sock, good. We
Yeah.
like those, yeah.
And, I mean, the closest portion of this line of silt sock probably lies at about 45 or so feet from edge of wet. Limit of disturbance will be much further away from that. The Caltech chamber itself lies at about 55 to 60 feet from the edge of wet. There is also proposed to be a driveway addition, a bit pavement addition, to support the entrance to this new garage.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Good, well, good overview. Thanks. Let's, again, start with the commission, see if we have questions or comments. Dave?
Yeah, I'm on, so where is the addition on this first plan? First, not the,
So the addition is the magenta-colored
yeah, but up above, where is the addition?
It's right here.
The gray shaded area?
It's this full rectangle.
Okay, okay.
That hatched
Yep.
area is the additional impervious area
Yep.
that would be created.
Since the town's internet doesn't work in here tonight, where is 127 Parker is in relationship to,
So it's right off Acton Road.
is it on the Acton Road side, pretty much?
Yes.
So, do you know where Wright Reservation is?
Yes, BB Wright.
So is it between Wright Reservation and Acton Road?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, so if you're coming down,
Coming down from Acton Road, is it on the right?
You bear right on Parker,
Yeah.
Yep.
you follow that down, and then you'll see,
There's only,
I'm on the left.
there's one, okay.
yes.
Right? There's only one or two houses on either side going down to the intersection of Fay and Parker.
Yeah, so on the corner there, where
to be the
it
co-op.
used to be the old farm, the
Yeah.
Spanises,
Yeah.
I bought the land from the Spanises, and that's my house to the left of the
So
Spanises on the corner.
that's a yellow house, right?
Yes.
Okay,
It
I
has
know
there's the
We were out
iron-
there some years back, Dave,
That's
remember?
where Ruth Luna stepped in a hornet's nest.
Yes. And I ran
You
over
remember
to
that?
Armin's. I was there. I ran over to Armin's house to get the thing I think I don't know, I forget what it was, but I ran over with, I was there. It's on site, yeah. Yeah.
Is there any excavation needed for the addition?
Well, it's proposed to be built at grade, so
Okay.
there would be some very minor, I believe,
There's no-
excavation
there's
so
no-
that we can form it.
And whatever material you keep on site, or do you need to take it off-site?
No, I believe we'll be able to reuse it.
And where will you, where would you propose to store construction equipment and materials?
I would imagine before the garage, the existing garage now, over to the right-hand side.
Okay.
And certainly we didn't add that to the plan, it was a little bit busy anyway, but we would certainly keep that within the setback and make arrangements so that there isn't any sort of siltation or any deleterious material running off.
I'll ask the same question of you that I asked of the prior guy. Is this this is an old farm, so is it all open farmland? Can you put any trees
it's-
in or not? Or
It's
not
hard to
woods,
put
right?
trees in front, but on the left, it's all this. pretty much, this is all my property as well.
Yeah, but
That's
that's-
all trees there as well. So then, my neighbor over
You're
here.
not cutting any trees down?
Nothing.
To
There's
do
no
the
trees.
addition?
No.
Fine, that's all I had.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Bill, any questions?
I'm just curious, so this is a garage with an apartment, in-law apartment above, right?
It is.
So is it, it's not, it's attached by the breezeway up in the air?
Yes, sir.
So that's your attachment?
That's our second form of egress.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have it on the ground floor? and
Ground
then
floor
you-
as well.
Okay. So, but you had to attach that just to make it legal, right?
Yes.
No, I was just curious about that. I saw the breezeway up there. So that was, and it wasn't attached, so I was just curious
Right.
how that worked.
We did get it approved from the planning board 2 weeks ago, so
Zoning.
I already,
So you're
zoning,
all
so
set
I
with
already
that?
went on the zoning and they approved
Okay.
it.
Okay. No, I was just curious about that.
Good, all right, Bill. Mark?
No, everything looks fine. I don't have any issues at all. This is your house, bro, right?
It's
This
my
is your
house,
house?
yes.
Yeah, didn't you put a
Yes.
pool? We did a pool for
You
a
did,
number of
I-
years back.
Yes, and then
Yep.
prior to
In the
that, I went in front of you guys to build the house as well.
Were we tough then?
Nah, we all the same.
Yeah, honestly, it's a lot of the same people.
How do you answer that?
I mean, I don't have a problem. You guys haven't fined me or nothing, I mean.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm good, Chris.
so,
Thanks.
my mother lived on Fay, so, and then her and her Armin, they both get COVID, so Armin Stone Hospital.
Yeah,
So
yes, I
my
heard
mother
that.
moved
Yes, I
in
heard
with
that the
me,
other day.
And I have 4 kids.
How's he
so
doing?
he's
How's he
yeah,
doing?
He's doing better, but, you know,
He
it's still.
really got hit.
Yeah, so she's moving, she lives with me now, so my brother lives across the street, and then, so it's keeping it all right there, you know?
Good. Anything else? Mark? you
No, I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Carl? Good. John?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, good. Anybody else, Commission? Questions, comments? All right, yeah, it's looking pretty good. This is a public hearing, so if anyone from the public has any questions or comments or input for us, just raise your hand, come forward. Nope? Okay, good. All right, well, the applicant's in front of us tonight for approval, with a notice of intent for the project. We have, looks like an amended plan, so we'd want to take the amended plan to the record. We got the, did you get the notices out to the butters and all that type of thing? Get your,
Yeah, yes.
good. Do you have the returns on those with you tonight, or? Well, if you can get them down to the office, you just follow up.
What is it again, sir?
The return, so you have to send out your certified copy of the notice to your butters, and then you get like return cards
Okay.
for that.
Okay. I thought the town did that, no?
No.
Because I got something in the mail
Yeah.
saying that there was a
Yeah.
public hearing.
Yeah, yeah, that's just a
The applicant
return.
usually sends out
Yeah,
the butter notice.
It's
Yeah.
a difficult process now, not having an agent. People
Oh,
aren't aware of what they should be doing.
right.
Well, there is a community development director.
But who,
Like I said, it's a difficult time.
It is a difficult
but I
time.
sent, I got a bill from the,
Double check on it, because I'm pretty sure you have to have those cards. And if you don't, you can't go ahead with the project. Because if you don't have the cards, our concern is that your abutters were not notified. And they have to be notified.
For the planning board, they must have, right?
Yeah, but he wouldn't have to go, well, he
Yeah,
might.
this is for conservation.
Yeah, did you have to go before the planning board?
Yeah, they went in
Already
front of the
did.
planning board, yeah.
Then they may have the cards.
okay, they do, because I got
Okay, we
two
want to make, then our record should show that those cards exist in the planning board. Okay?
Okay.
I mean, it's the same office. Colleen Stansford should have them.
Yep.
Yeah, so we just want to make sure everything's legal and you don't run into any like legalities or technicalities later on, so.
Planning board's cards would show it's a conservation.
No, but they might have been kind of all together, you know?
Okay.
I mean, I think you sent the notices out, to be honest, but I just think you got to double check your records to
Where they came back to.
make sure, see that they came back.
You certainly paid for it.
I did pay for it. I know.
Exactly, and you said you and your family got the notices too,
I got a
right?
note, I get 2 notices.
Exactly,
of the-
so-
Of the public hearing,
Yeah,
and it was a copy of, in the paper,
yeah.
so I would
So
imagine.
I think it happened, but I just
We
think,
just want to make sure.
I'll
they're
call
notified.
Colleen tomorrow. and
yeah,
ask.
call in and, you know, I'm sure the cards are there. We want to get them into the official
Okay.
file, so we'll deal with that. And then how about, did you get a DEP file number yet?
We have not received anything yet.
Okay, all right, so
From
you're gonna need that
So
file
you'll
number
need
back.
that to start work.
Sure.
Yeah, and because you got to post the DEP sign and all that type of thing.
Is there appeal process from after today, or is it
It's-
5 days or no?
It's from when the actual document is issued to you folks. That's when it starts. Now, you can start work at your risk
Yeah.
beforehand, depending on if you're under the gun time-wise, but it would be like at your risk. But
Any angry neighbors?
No, I get letters from every
Your
neighbor.
whole family.
Yeah, my brother's across the street. And I get letters from.
Chris is right, it's a 30-day appeal period. You can start at your own risk.
Even with conservation?
Yeah, it's 30 days from when we say okay,
Okay.
and we'll say okay when we have the DEP file number.
Okay.
I mean, what we're gonna do tonight is, well, first we gotta vote, and approve it. But then what we'll do is we'll sign the paperwork, the legal paperwork tonight. And then we're gonna send it down to the office, down to the Community Development Office, for them to, basically type it all up completely and have it ready. Once it's typed up and ready, then just call down. They can then give you the official order of conditions, so that it's issued at that point. And they'll just want to they're going to double check the records to make sure that everything's right in the file as far as the return of the notices and that type of thing. And you'll need the 129, DEP file number 2. So they'll check a couple of those things, and when everything's good, then it gets issued.
I think the protocol is that the building inspector does not issue a permit for 30 days unless you do an affidavit saying that you're aware of the risk.
Well, that makes sense. So, and Mark speaks from,
I've been through it
he
before.
he speaks from experience,
Yeah.
so, yeah, and that makes sense.
That's what we heard.
Yep.
But anyway, let's, back to the business at hand. We have, again, a request for order of conditions. Do we have any special conditions that we need to add?
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear any. We've got the amended
Good.
plan.
I heard contingencies.
What'd you hear?
You need a DEP.
Oh, subject to
Yeah, yeah,
DEP.
exactly.
File number.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Notification.
Yep.
Yep. So, all right, so that's, yeah, it's good. Let's note those in the vote.
I move we issue a standard order of conditions for 127 Parker Road, pending receipt of a DEP file number.
Second.
And in the documentation of abutter notices as well, too. So that's,
Public comment? Is there any public comment?
we asked for that.
Did you?
Yep, none. Okay, so any discussion before we vote? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, so it's, so you're approved, and you just have to
Good luck.
Thank you
follow
very
up
much.
with, give Colleen a call down there in a couple of days. So very good. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
I think we were the federal government.
Yeah, you would. We're not
Well,
that
we're
bad.
running pretty efficient.
We're not that
Why are you
bad.
saying that?
I think we're more efficient.
Yeah, you said we're like the federal government. That's not true.
I don't think
They're
you were,
they're not
you were,
running
I don't
very
think, Dave, you weren't,
Point,
Dave,
exactly.
you weren't referring to this body.
No,
of
no,
politics.
no, I'm
Of course
not
not.
referring
No,
to this.
no, no,
but
no,
We
no.
know what the heck we're doing.
We're the best
We know
board
what
in
the heck
town.
we're doing.
I mean, I hate to be, bragging about it, but it's fact. All right, let's sign the paperwork again. All right, we got an order of conditions document we gotta do again.
Oh, got a cabana back there. There's a cabana.
Order of conditions.
I'm gonna make a big deal of it.
Materials. Client. Let's see if we can find.
That's what bought the Newfield Street off of him.
Cabana's right there.
See an order of conditions in this thing?
I bought Newfield Street off of that guy.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, is that-
All right, Dave. Here we go again. This is 127 Parker.
That was the lady, the old lady in the back. That was
Ah.
another-
Really? It says pool area back there. You read it. Oh, it does? Yeah.
I heard today
It's
that
so small. It's not-
when you come out of Parker at Boston Road and Concord Road, you can't go left on Boston Road.
Let's say
You
pool
can only
area?
go right
Yeah.
You kidding?
Okay.
when they finish the
All right,
intersection.
See how
When
he
they
did the
finish
addition,
the
though?
intersection.
Yeah.
When you come out of Parker at Triangle, you can only go right. You can't go left.
You can't go left.
I don't know how they're gonna
So
enforce
that's gonna
that.
drive everybody to go to Hall Road,
Up to Harvey Road.
or the other one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go to Harvey Road and then,
Brian,
Bryan Road?
All those, I don't know, that's what I heard today, I don't know how true it is. I sound like I'm signing a $1.5 trillion bill. No,
This could
quiet,
be
quiet,
infrastructure.
quiet while I sign.
There you go. All right.
Yeah. I know a lot of people take a right, or go straight
Dave, I
across.
need to borrow your pen. My pen is running out of
That
ink.
going straight across, you're taking life in
A
your hands.
high-quality pen died?
It's just running out of ink.
I don't know, I think they're just shortages.
Career project.
Well, they're probably having problems getting they're working on the water.
Material.
Yeah, they've been,
All right. There you come.
they were gone for 2 weeks. There was
Official
no,
pen.
you
Little
know,
guy,
by there
just-
3-4 times a day.
Yeah.
And they just
Kinda
started
ready.
back up this week, pretty much.
Look at that pen. Jeez.
Oh, I gotta sign.
There you go. Thanks, Dave.
You gotta sign and print.
They just throw it to that curve, don't they?
Yeah,
Just to mess us up.
What's that?
Sign and print.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the last one we just signed.
Right. Just when you think.
Yeah,
oh,
that's,
can't be consistent.
Thank you very much. All right. In the file. Okay, there we go. So get that one here. All right. Okay, so back to our agenda for this evening's meeting. Moving on, we have an item for discussion. This is Oddfellows, and it's status of permits as well as, you know I've seen some email concerns related to Oddfellows, particularly as to kind of what's going on with the permits. Was it permitted by this commission? Was it approved by administratively by our former conservation agent before, as well as, you know, is the brook a very valuable resource being properly protected at this point in time? So that's what I've seen, email concerns. I'm not quite sure. Dave, you've done some research and seen some of that as well. What can you share with the commission as to what's going on out there? Or what's
Well, it's,
transpired?
I was out there last week, you guys have seen it too. The siding is all off of the Oddfellows Hall on all four sides, with the exception of the small, not shed, the small addition on the Beaver Brook side. That siding is still on that addition. But above that addition, which is 1 story high, the siding is off. As I recall, when we had the hearing on Jay's project, we were looking at what he was going to do for his new condos. Nobody presented to us what was going to happen at the Oddfellows Hall, although everyone said, oh, it's going to be renovated. But we didn't see that. And when we issued the order of conditions, it's my understanding we issued it for the condominium project. I also understand now that site has been broken into 4 sites. Effectively, Sandander is 1 site, Fisk House is the 2nd site, Oddfellows is the 3rd site, and the parking lot where Jay's condo is the 4th site. Planning Board have had hearings on Oddfellows. They're in, I don't know whether they're complete or they're in process. I looked at our standard order conditions and our special order conditions. There's no reference in that as to any protective netting or covering put over Beaver Brook, which we would have done, I am pretty damn sure, if we had focused on it. That's the only, I don't think I'm sure there are other buildings in town, but that's one of the few that's right on the stream.
Yeah.
We did receive a memo or an email from Evan, which included a picture of the siding. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's as I described it. The siding still exists on the addition. But in that email, Evan makes the comment, we have required that this is from the builder, who I believe is financially a partner of the owner of Fishbones. I don't know whether the two of them are working the project or he is. But his partner says, we have required the SMS demo company to do exactly that. And exactly that is to cover the stream before they start working on the part of the extension on the building that is immediately above the brook. They did install a netting while they were working on the part with landing space, and they did bag everything from inside the building, because they also took out all the windows, and they may have been doing some interior work. It looks like they went down to the studs. Inside the building to avoid any spilling on the brook. They will cover the brook with tarps in order to prevent any debris from falling into the brook prior to starting work on the extension part of the building. As of Thursday, there was nothing over Beaver Brook. And it should have been left in place even when they were doing work on the other sides of the building. My concern is, in a windy day, and I don't know how much asbestos, is that siding asbestos? You know, Mark, by any chance?
I would buy there, and it's supposed to be done, there's a lead renovators, by, whatever you call it. You're supposed to go, anything,
Lead remediation?
yeah, anything you tear off the building has to be plastic on the ground. Anything tear off the building has to be wrapped in plastic and thrown in a dumpster. Everything.
He did say it's being,
That's the law.
yeah, he did say, and so he did install netting, and they did bag everything from inside the building.
But everything that has lead in it's got to be wrapped up,
See,
plastic, taped, and thrown in a dumpster.
You know, unless it happened and it's all cleaned up since, I don't know that they did that.
No, it just was never done. We know the dust from the exterior fell into the brook, the lead.
It had to.
Of course it did. And whole neighborhood, meaning the center, was exposed to that. That's up to building to take care of that. The building department's supposed to watch that.
As far as I'm concerned, they don't have, unless somebody can tell me to the contrary, this developer does not have an order of conditions from us to do any work.
Who was the one that went before us it was last year, spring, summer, right? For the
Oddfellows?
For the condos.
For the condos, it'd be Katie Enright. I don't know.
Is she involved in this?
She did talk about the Oddfellows Hall. At that time, she may have represented all parties. But see, there's this email from Deirdre Conley that says it's now 4 separate parcels. And if it is, I think we should have had a public hearing on the Oddfellows, and we would have one probably wouldn't have one on Santander or Fisk House. It's probably not within our.
At the time, Jay was gonna be the actual builder in all 3 parcels.
Initially, he was,
Right.
correct.
Right, and I remember in that walk, we were focused on the condos, but I do remember we walked around Oddfellows, which makes me wonder if that was.
I mean, we didn't require any covering of the stream when Jay was doing construction, because at that point, it was parking lot, and there was no demolition anticipated. I mean, it's pretty obvious that there would have been some kind of demolition in the Oddfellows.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what they.
We never saw any exterior elevation plans for that or anything.
That's what I said at the outset, Mark. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think we were told it's coming,
Right.
and so it's.
Jay's focus is on the condos.
Right, that's.
Now, this order of conditions says, I'm sorry, the order of conditions talks about "44 Central Square, 1 Billerica Road, blocks 334, lots 10 and 11. I don't know what lots 10 and 11 are. I don't know whether that's all 4 of the new lots, or whether that's 2, separate. It's my recommendation that we tell Evan that he's got to get these guys to, somebody's got to tell us whether or not we have jurisdiction over this project. I don't know.
Is it within 100 feet?
It's on the stream.
It's on the stream.
I mean, so the work is within 100 feet of the stream.
Yeah, the work is within
jurisdiction.
the work is within 1 foot
We
of.
have jurisdiction.
Yes.
So one option we have is we can take a vote tonight and issue an enforcement order that we want, and we can name what we want done.
Now, I could be in error, and maybe when we issued Jay his order of conditions, it included Oddfellows Hall. If we did, shame on me, because I don't remember, other than somebody saying, oh, it's gonna be a steakhouse and, I think, 8 condos? That's
something like
above
that,
it.
yeah.
I don't know, we saw anything, I didn't see anything more specific than that, and that's not enough to issue an order of conditions.
For that part of it.
And I remember asking Dave at the time about the restaurant, whether there was gonna be a grease tank had to be installed out in the parking lot behind the building, and at that point, Katie didn't know how that was being handled, because we were really concentrated on that condo.
Yeah.
So I really
I
think
mean,
that they should,
it sounds to me like the town wants to get this project done.
let's not to say we don't either, but I
No,
think they need
yes.
to
Right.
pull a
Yes.
permit and come
It's-
before
Yeah,
us.
Follow the same
Right,
process everyone else
right, because
does.
we haven't had any opportunity to discuss taking the siding off that building and how that's gonna be treated.
Yeah,
That
we
was never
definitely
brought
haven't.
up at the condo, because we were,
I'm just saying, I do remember we walked around the
This was
building.
Yeah.
this was maybe I should have read, this was an email I got on July 12th from Deirdre Conley. And this is my interpretation of that conversation. I spoke with Deirdre Conley today. She abuts the 1 Billerica Road property and this is me now, and was probably instrumental in getting Jay's condo project defeated. She said, here again, this is my interpretation. She said the Oddfellows project is going forward and is with the planning board. This is July 12th.
July.
Incidentally, she said she is in favor of the project, Oddfellows. She asked 2 questions of me as a conservation member. One, will there be a new hearing on the Oddfellows project? We were never informed that there would be, and that's what I'm raising tonight. A little late. Apparently, the site has been, this is my interpretation of what she said. Apparently, the site has been split into 4, Bank, Oddfellows, Fisk House, and parking lot. Since our hearing was on the condo, I don't believe we ever ruled on the Oddfellow or the Fisk House. She indicated there will be a new patio out back. I do remember them talking about, Katie talking about that when she was pitching the
but there were no
condos.
specifics on any of that.
Yeah,
No,
there was
I-
no
but the
real-
gloss, yeah, right. 2, I'm raising a question, she wanted to know if we were aware of a DEP letter. Remember, DEP told us you couldn't have any activity within
Yeah.
Yeah.
50 feet of the street, which was news to us. That's a different matter. Although DEP would have to approve, I mean, there's no question that Oddfellows would be deemed a
Redevelopment.
redevelopment project, yeah. So I think we need to find out what, one, is a new hearing and review of this project required, and if not, why? And if so, then they should stop work and we should get the hearing.
Right, because we never get specifics on this building.
No.
I mean, I think as a minimum, we should issue an enforcement order requesting that they have a request for determination with plans in front of this commission that we can then review and decide whether, what we need done or not on it.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Were any permits issued?
I have no idea.
Demolition permit, maybe.
That would pull the siding off and the windows out, that would require a demolition project, right?
Yeah, and it has to be, like I said, protocol on how you remove all that stuff.
Yeah.
Would the permits be issued without our,
They're not supposed to be. Everybody, we're supposed to sign off
The
on all
department's
building
supposed to sign
permits.
off.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's, no, not an issue.
But I'm just concerned with us not having an agent since, forever, maybe it somehow slipped through. I
Yep.
mean,
So we need to backtrack.
Well, you're right. I mean, they started work, what, maybe 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So it might have, Katie's been gone for 3 weeks? Yeah, yeah.
No, August.
Yeah?
She's been gone since August, okay.
3 months.
So you're right, Chris.
2 to 3 months.
Plus, there's gonna be future work putting the stuff back together, so we have no control of
I mean, here
any of that
again,
either.
community development's on this project like you-know-what on you-know-what. Because it's a big project, and it's important to part of the redevelopment of Central Square. And it's probably a good project.
Yep.
But we want it done right, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can still do it and protect the resources.
Yeah. Ma'am, you're out there. Were you waiting for this hearing?
No, I'm just here to observe and listen.
Okay.
Good, we do this all the time. Chris, why don't you talk to Evan tomorrow morning?
Okay.
Maybe we're missing some background material.
Okay.
I
And
know when we discussed the condo, no specifics were brought up about this
we,
at all.
we could move tonight, subject to Chris's discussion with the community development director. We issue a cease and desist until, what did you say, Chris? Until the applicant comes. A minimum is a request for determination.
Yeah.
So we did,
Yep.
frankly, that's a waste of their time and money, because we do have jurisdiction just because
Yeah, it's
the
obvious.
where the project is.
Right.
So they should come right back to us with a request, with an notice of intent, and they should stop work until the public hearing, until DEP blesses it. DEP might want to take a look at it, because it's right
I
on the
mean,
stream.
that's another thing we could do, is we could order them to come in with a notice of intent filing. And
I
just,
think we should, I mean, we'd get an RDA, and I think we'd say, we have jurisdiction.
Yeah.
I think we would. I mean, the RDA would maybe get them in quick, we'd have the dialogue, and then we'd probably say,
Yeah.
it's positive determination, you need to file a notice of intent.
Well, we got a new conservation agent, we can give them that as #1 project. Let's start them out right.
Baptism by fire. That's brutal.
So let's, we could
Is that
take a
all right
vote.
with you,
Yeah,
Chris?
I think we take a vote that we issue an enforcement notice,
Cease and desist,
and, cease and desist,
until
until
the applicant
comes
files
in here and files
a
a,
notice of intent
yeah,
for the project known as the Oddfellows
Yeah.
Hall.
yeah. I mean, we have jurisdiction because the work is within 100 feet, so it's jurisdictional. As far as we know,
We never approved.
we never permitted it. So, and we have legitimate concerns about environmental protection of the brook. So, I mean, I don't think we can ignore it.
Yep.
No, Mark's comment was, when they were doing the demolition, you got asbestos
That's
dust
concerning.
blowing around the air.
Yeah.
But I don't know there's asbestos there. I know there's.
I'm
like-
sorry, junk,
Lead paint.
Well,
lead
pick-
paint, I'm sorry. you said
That's
that.
pick your
Going into
poison,
the water.
you know? So let's have someone make a motion then.
I so move what I just said.
All right, Dave so moved.
Vivian, you got.
Vivian, you want to
My Vivian's so valuable.
Vivian, why don't you kind of read
You
back
can
to us
decipher
what,
that, huh?
if you could, what Dave so said?
Motion to issue a cease and desist until the notice of intent is filed for the project on the Oddfellows building as work is within the commission's jurisdiction.
Perfect.
I like it.
And they can come back to us and say, it's not needed. And then, but they're gonna have to give us more information.
Yep. All right, so Dave made the motion.
I'll second it.
All right, Carl on the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Unanimous. All right, very good. Okay, so then we move on our agenda to land management. So land management,
Okay, there are a few things on here that I don't recognize. I believe the agenda was copied over from the last time.
I was just gonna ask that.
And I think these, so the first one says request from Barry Moore, blah, blah, blah. We did that, that's done. The second one I'll talk about, I believe the
you know,
third.
I got to be honest, I was worried that this meeting wasn't going to be posted, period.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
to be honest.
I know we
It
have
was
the
posted, but
holiday,
we
but-
weren't told about it.
Well, but it didn't get posted, Dave, until literally late Friday morning,
Yeah.
that it
It's
got.
supposed to be posted on Thursday, isn't it?
Usually it's posted on Thursday, and
Holiday.
to Dave's
Yes.
point,
the holiday.
Well, we had the holiday too, so we had that
That should
going
mean
on.
we should have done it Wednesday.
It should have been, yeah.
But
So,
anyway, here
Anyway,
we
I mean,
are.
it got posted, but
So
to
I
Dave's
believe-
point, we would like to have input in the agenda, like as a policy.
So I will talk about Warren Poll and a couple other things, but Dave, I assume Freeman Lake and the
I don't know what the plan is, but the town meeting approved the funds, right?
And the Freeman Lake abutters and all that, the letters, we had all that discussion at the previous meeting, that's just carried
Yep,
over.
yep.
Unless our guest here
Well-
is here for any of that, no, okay.
But the
She's seen it going,
but-
oh, that's what I came
But
for.
Carl, DPW, I assume, is gonna do the work or at least manage it. Will have to come before us with a notice of
Yep.
intent.
Right.
I don't think the work will be done until next spring, probably, right?
Talking about Freeman Lake.
Parking lot.
No, I'm talking about Freeman Lake.
Freeman Lake,
okay.
yeah, right, yeah.
DPW's doing it?
Well, they'll probably be in charge of it, no? Because
They weren't
our
in
only
sh-
experience, Mark, is with Hart Pond.
Right.
And the homeowners association came before us. Freeman Lake doesn't have one, so I'm assuming the town will come before us. I don't
Oh, I
know.
thought we kind of encouraged that. Nobody stepped up?
It's
okay.
too light of a crowd, it's like
Okay.
8 people or
all right,
six
okay.
homeowners instead of 50 at Hard Pond, or something
I
like
don't
that.
believe that, but that's right. Well, one of the gentlemen in the audience said there's
At
only
least direct abutters.
direct abutters to
Correct.
Freeman Lake, but there's a lot more involved.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in those
He seemed pretty
neighborhoods.
excited about getting that going and everything.
Yeah,
It's easy
As long as he
to
doesn't
say
pay for
until you
it.
Yeah,
start thinking
that's-
about what it really means, like,
Right.
oh,
I'm sorry?
call
As long
me.
as you don't pay for it.
Okay, so let me give an update then on the Warren Farm. We did receive the boundary shape file from Scott Ludwig, who's the town surveyor, and I have shared that with the Land Stewardship Incorporated, which is the group that will do the baseline documentation report. I did get a purchase order, I did get a quote from them, a proposal, and that is for $1,900, and I'm going to move forward with that. I'll work with Colleen and.
So we've at least taken that part away from Land Trust in
Yeah,
terms
and
of managing the money.
Right, yeah, and in fact, probably on the original one too, because I don't think that's ever been paid, and Dale's happy to have us deal with that, because otherwise, we pay Dale and Dale pays them, and it doesn't make really sense, so, we'll work on that, we'll make that happen. And the good news is, we do have documentation in process for an NOI that will, hopefully, everything will get done, and it will be on our agenda here on the December 7th meeting. And I got an upfront copy of the drawing and of the parking lot, and gave him some feedback, and he made a change, and that should be incorporated, those changes were incorporated. They were minor things, a couple spelling things and a couple of
Yeah,
details.
but you caught the big one. There was no engineer's stamp on the plans.
Yeah, so there's now an engineer stamp on it. So we'll have all that information at the
The
next
reason
meeting.
it's not on tonight's hearing is there are about 220 abutters that have to be
Whoa.
notified. You know how all the houses around,
It's like
Yeah.
I think it's 150 or 300 feet of the property, so it's a lot
Wow.
of cards. So that's happening. I would propose, though, that we do a site walk to the property, to look at and I'll have the maps, prior to the meeting. I even would think even this Saturday or something like that, whatever is for everybody. I think it'd be a good idea to go see what is being done, what is being proposed with that. I don't know if we need or can get anybody from DPW to join us, but I think we have enough information.
I think Scott's plan's probably thorough enough, right?
It's pretty good, and I can send it out on email now that I have the newer copy. But I think it makes sense to do that before the December
Yeah.
7th meeting.
When we have the hearing, what I think I mentioned before, I would suggest, although it's not required, is that Carl and I recuse ourselves from discussions, and that the rest of you act as the commission would act, because we're conflicted technically. We're a commissioner and we're proposing the parking lot. So we could have a quorum with the rest of you.
Dave, I don't
We
think,
could- we
Dave,
could-
you don't have to do that.
I know we don't have to do
You
it,
don't
Chris. I'm just wondering if,
Maybe we'll just answer
since,
questions, but
I mean, that way you four could ask us questions, and there's still a quorum. It's your call, Mr. Chair.
You don't have to do it.
Okay.
But I mean, if, certainly you guys can do the presentation, but I'm fine with you guys at the end of the day coming back and voting,
Okay.
with this thing.
That's fine by me.
That's
But
fine.
what you might want to do is just, just disclose that you've
Yeah.
got a bit of a conflict
That's
of
a-
interest.
That's a good
To-
idea.
to everyone.
Just disclose, yeah.
I mean, every conservation commission in the state has potentially the same problem, right? When they want to do something
On their own
on
property.
their own
Our
property.
property, yeah.
Yeah, but we're acting like a subcommittee, I guess, but yeah, that's fine. We'll, I think disclosure is a good
That's
way
why
to
we
do
stopped telling Mark what was going on, so we could have him as a quorum.
Yeah, that was it.
It's a good answer, good answer. So, I don't know, does Saturday morning at 9 o'clock work?
Saturday, 9 o'clock? What do you think?
We meet out
Everybody?
there on the site,
Up the
in the
site?
parking area?
Can you come in and pull in like we did before? and
Make sure you go to
narrow
the
a little?
left of the Pole's house, not to the right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the entrance by the Brown. the old
Right next to the Brown house. I saw the lady, chatted with her the other day from that unit, just briefly, but anyway. Okay, so 9 o'clock on Saturday.
9 o'clock Saturday.
I'll send out a reminder on Friday, just
Yeah.
because if you like me.
Oh,
it
and
might
send the map out to everybody,
forget,
too.
and I'll send the map, yeah.
All right, good.
And so that's it on the Warren Farm
Carl?
property. Oh, one,
The-
go ahead.
The survey that he referred to at the outset, the survey's completed, that he delivered to the consultants we're using. We also sent that survey to town council because we need 2 easements. We need an easement on, is it Katie Lane or Kate Lane?
Kate.
Kate Lane, because there are 2 private residents that, or the driveway rather, of 2 residences is the driveway is on conservation land. And the corner of the Gadboys' garage and a portion of their driveway off of Parker,
Yep.
is also on conservation land. So we will have to give an easement in order for for them to exist,
Or something else.
or something else. We could sell it to them, but I don't know that we want, that'd be more trouble than it's worth. Anyhow, town council has that document. That will have, those easement, or something else, will have to be part of the conservation restriction.
Yeah. I don't think the restriction will get resolved, I don't think the land trust will accept it until that's resolved, and I don't blame them.
I don't
wouldn't
think,
either.
I don't think they should, really.
Have you got feedback from the land trust on
Not lately.
comments?
They claim they're pretty close. I tweaked Dale a couple times, and
Stop tweaking.
I'll get him again. We need to sit down with him, and maybe if we just set a date.
The next time we need, would be face-to-face.
Yeah.
Once we get their comments back.
Okay, thanks for the reminder on the
Can I
easements.
Let me,
I got a question about the easements. Why isn't the people that infringed getting the easements? Why are we doing the easements?
I don't know.
Well, I think technically they should request the easement.
Yeah, we should allow them to be on our property.
Yeah.
Right,
Or something else.
Right.
But
But they
then-
should be chasing it, but they have nothing pushing them to chase it. What's pushing us is that the conservation restriction requires that the land trust audit the property on a regular basis against any infringements and any,
So that has to be documented.
and so they're gonna say, well, you're starting out with an infringement. Like, why, we don't even wanna sign up for this until you get that clarified.
So it's our best interest
So
to
it's
get
on
it.
our interest to go talk to
Yeah, I
them.
mean, it's similar, Mark, if somebody came along and put a driveway on your property.
Yeah, like,
You
yeah,
want to clear your.
tell us all
clear it
about
off.
that, Chris.
You know, just in case something like that ever did happen in real life, the person who's been encroached upon ends up being the one that hires a surveyor and, and takes action, so.
Okay, so couple more things. One is, just to let you guys know, the Cranberry Bog Trail to the dam has been greatly improved.
Oh, really?
I was part of that team.
Good.
But we put some three-quarter pack down in the wet spots, which if you walk from the parking lot out to the dam, there were some really bad wet spots.
I wouldn't
And,
be surprised if in some of those storms it overflowed, right?
Well, not now. This
Bog.
is
No,
yeah,
before
yeah,
you
yeah,
did it.
Yeah, it was high. It was really high. So it's much, much better. We'll probably go back with more in the spring, but for right now, for the winter, it's great. It really makes a difference. And the other thing, I just want to highlight a couple of activities. COS has hosting their day before Thanksgiving walk on the 24th, which is the next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow,
You know,
at 2 o'clock
2 o'clock.
at Thanksgiving Forest.
Do we know
So
if
this
they
is the
have a fire
annual
permit?
thing. I don't know. I don't
And
know.
and they certainly didn't ask our permission.
They did not. No, they did not. But that's on the plan. They also are hosting what Phil likes to call the Back from Grandma's Walk, which is that Saturday at Thanksgiving, that most of it is a walk over to Great Brook, Great Brook State Park. And that is meet at the Gary Road entrance on Saturday morning, the 27th at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then finally, they are also doing their tree hunt, which they do every year. It's very, very popular. It gets a lot of people out to all the sites, all of our Concom sites, the land trust sites, the town sites, and there's actually one church in town that has a tree on their site as part of this. And so it's something like 20 different sites. So it's very popular and a lot of people, so it's great. Gets a lot of people out, families out to see the sites. So that's it. The only other thing I want to mention is that Dave Sperry from the new committee in town was looking for the latest version of the open space and recreation plan, and the one on the
Mr.
website.
Belansky has it. It resides in his office.
Right, and the version that's on the website is the 2011 version.
There is a open space master plan that's done every 10 years. 2011?
Yeah.
That was the last master plan. There has been an update since then, which was done in,
2017,
I was gonna say 18. Okay.
yeah. So he sent a copy of that. I got a copy
That's
of
all
that.
that's been done.
Okay, so anyway,
And it's the conservation agent who is the custodian of the master plan and does the update. I suspect, he wants it for his stuff, okay.
yeah,
Somebody's gonna have to kick off a new master plan,
I would think that's,
because it's
needs to
2021, that's this year, but
yeah, well.
that's up to Evan.
Well, I just wonder if the 2017 was enough to do that.
No, I don't think so. I think that was kind of an interim requirement. The state said, take a look at what your master plan was and update where appropriate. They didn't want you to write a whole new one.
Yeah, no, and I don't think it should be done, but I can imagine that will come up. So anyway, I think one of the things with David, the new agent, and I'm gonna guess Evan's talking to him about it as well, that'll be on his list of things to do. That's all I got,
Two things.
Mr. Chair.
Bill, what was the lead time on the granite sign that we were gonna have? Is it 3 months? 4 months?
No.
Less?
It was less, it was
3 weeks, 4 weeks?
5 weeks, 5 or 6
Okay.
months.
I don't think DPW is gonna be in the ground on the parking lot this winter unless there's no snow. So I don't think we're gonna see that parking lot available for the public until the spring. But I would like to make sure we have the granite sign available for when that parking lot. So you think it's like 3 to 5
Like
weeks?
5 or 6 weeks. And
it's
where's it gonna
about
go, in the parking lot area?
Well, it's somewhere in the
talk
parking lot.
Saturday.
On Saturday, maybe we can get some agreement as to where, it should be somewhere where you leave the parking lot and go into the main trail.
This is for Warren Pool?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
The second point I want to bring up, I did hear, and I think I told you guys, but let me mention it again because we're on TV. I did hear from the conservation agent in Carlisle. Their current plans for the Cranberry Bog are to proceed to make it open space. They're not planning to restore the Cranberry Bog as a working cranberry farm. They're going to request money from their Springtown meeting to do a wetland flagging, which would be the first step. And they will want to let it go back natural, whatever that means. I mean, that can be a big project. That can be a couple of $100,000, depending on what they want to do. So they're definitely not going ahead with cranberry harvesting.
Not so bad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
People like that.
People liked it, yeah.
You don't want to do it?
That's all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Thanks. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, John, cranberries? No?
Tried it once.
Did you? All right.
You tried to grow them up by you?
I have a bog right behind my house.
How big is it? How many acres?
It was About 6 acres.
Somebody owes it, Mark Duffy said it costs like 75,000 an acre to reclaim an acre, so you
Oh,
can,
yeah.
you know, if it goes bad,
Yeah.
and you have to dig it up and replant. He said
I-
75 grand an acre.
I did the tour down in Barnstable, a couple months ago, back in August, and, yeah, the cranberry farmer was telling, took us around the fields, and he was showing us how difficult it was to take something back that had gone wild and restore it back to a cranberry bog, and how expensive it was, and all the steps. I mean,
Right.
it's kind of a shame, really, because it's a ton of work to actually get it back to being, productive again.
And now you can't buy cranberry jelly for Thanksgiving, right?
Shortage. All right, so that's it for land management for,
That's all I got.
all right, good. All right, well, there's no agent's report tonight.
Yeah, you gave it at the outset. We get a new agent tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that's good that we've got a new agent.
That's good. That's a good step
Yeah.
forward, and
Looking forward to having.
as Dave said, he's experienced with a lot of years.
I wanted to add, he's also been on the Boxborough Conservation Commission for
Yeah, he's been on
30
both
years.
sides.
So he knows his stuff.
That's good. So, yeah, so it's good, and we'll engage him right away. I'm meeting with him Thursday. I'm gonna talk to him right away about Oddfellows, and see what we can do. Put him to work.
Anything on Christmas party?
Oh, yeah, Christmas party. Yeah, I got that written down. So we could do it on, like December 7th is coming up, our next meeting. We could go out then, and, or we could, I'm not sure we're gonna have a meeting on the 21st.
Right.
But I'm thinking the 7th, we got a little early, beat the crowds. And then the question is, where do we want to go? But,
Well, we want to go to Feng Shui and hoist one to Jack Souza's, what we want to do.
that's definitely one option. I'm sure Jack will be looking over our shoulders.
Don't pay for the cranberry juice.
He starts throwing glasses, I'm out.
But, yeah, let's do it after the next meeting on the 7th then.
Okay.
We should, maybe we'll be able to get the new agent out with us,
I'll second
That'd
that.
be good if we could do that.
Yeah.
Get a couple in and see what he's really like.
Maybe that Tamula guy might be there too.
And Smula said, and he's back.
Party,
Coconut shrimp.
That's it, exactly.
Coconut shrimp, and Chris said he's back. He said that the thing was Saco, Maine, where he is up there. He said it was wrapping up tonight, and he said he was gonna be
Right.
back.
If he can get out of the snow.
Yeah, all right, so let's,
You can ask Katie if she wants to come too.
Sure.
that's a good idea.
Tell her to bring Darren.
Yeah.
Bring the whole family down.
Right.
Oh, I don't know if we want to scream the baby, but
So that Darren's not coming?
On TV.
We are. Our ratings are just going through the ceiling again.
It'd be nice to have Katie come.
That's a great idea. All right, we'll reach out to Katie. We know where to hunt her down. Good, so let's see, do we have any minutes to approve, Vivian?
October 19th,
19th.
I sent
Yeah,
them out
she
a
sent.
couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I looked at him.
Look good to me.
Anybody else, questions, comments, Dave?
no, I think if I had any, I gave them to Vivian.
Oh,
It wouldn't have been anything substantial.
okay. All right, we have a motion then?
I
So
make a
moved.
motion to approve
All right,
the
Carl.
minutes of October 19th.
All right, Carl on the motion approved, and the second was by
Me.
Dave. Dave on the second, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed, unanimous, all right, so that's our minutes are down. Poor pen's falling apart.
He's having an issue with pens today.
Man, look at this thing. What do we got?
He's on a limited budget.
Limited budget,
You gotta pay him more.
yeah, exactly.
Can double it.
Well, we're all gonna get that end-of-year bonus, by the way, coming through, yeah.
I'm still waiting for my paycheck.
All right, so, motion to adjourn,
So moved.
moved by Dave,
Second.
second by Carl, all those in favor? Aye, unanimous, all right.